Good evening. Welcome to. Well, look at us. We look just so cable access, don't we, tonight? Good evening. Welcome to another fun-filled night here on Spirit Connections at WCTV Studios here in Wareham. How's everyone doing tonight?
Yahoo! We're all doing good.
I know. I always think I'm going to have a live audience someday, and maybe have someone cheer. But
So you're saying you mostly have a dead audience?
no. Well,
No pun intended.
coming from me. Yes. So tonight we are
Having trouble speaking.
having trouble speaking tonight.
Yes.
As you guys, if you didn't notice, we have Mr. Matt Moniz on tonight. Oddball, of course, and he's also on Jeff Belanger's show.
Well, that
What's that
30-odd
called?
minutes.
30-odd minutes.
And Spooky South
And Spooky
Coast.
South Coast, first and foremost. The original Spooky South Coast.
All right.
Go ahead.
Do the
Matt's
ventriloquist act. You're speaking for Tiffany tonight.
You know why? It's because I ate before I came here. I usually don't eat.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah,
Blame it on the food.
exactly.
Or you
So-
could blame it on the rain.
Oh. Who's the group that sang that?
Milli
Vanilli.
Vanilli.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say Peanut Gallery.
I knew that. I remember they went on that show, Sister Kate, back in 1991 with Jason Priestley, who was my heartthrob
I was 3.
back in the day. Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What's the show about tonight?
The show, thank you,
You're welcome.
Matt. The show is about whatever you guys want. Matt's here, we're here to answer your questions. You can make the show into whatever you want. If you have any questions between paranormal, spiritual, UFOs, Bigfoot, anything, Lizzie Borden, we want to hear it. If you-
Makeup, shoes.
We're here.
Okay.
We're here. So I want it basically to be a live, interactive, like always.
As opposed to
guys.
a dead interactive, which is
Yeah.
called necrophilia, and that's not this show.
It's awkward and funny all at the same time. So anyways,
This is good.
well, I want to talk about something.
Okay.
This Friday night, we have Fort Tabor coming up in
Yes.
New Bedford,
Yes.
part of Legend Trips, put on by Tim Weisberg and Jeff Belanger and
And Matt.
Matt.
And Andy.
Well, I'll be there. Yeah.
Matt will be there, and Andrew Lake's going to be there, and Steph and I
we'll
will
be
be
there.
there. Yeah, doing some readings. We're going to be doing, these guys are going to be doing lectures and dinner. Steph and I will be doing readings, and then I can't wait, but we're going to be doing a investigation of Fort Tabor until 2
That'll be
a.m. I've never been there before, so
It's an interesting place.
Historical place.
Yes.
And very beautiful place. They've done a lot with it in the past 20 years. 25 years ago, when I first was poking around the place, it was part of a rundown National Guard base that was there. And the fort that was there was all overgrown with, vines and stuff like that. The National Guard had put up chain link fence and other things around the area, storing, old deuce and a halves and jeeps and, other military equipment around the place. And you really couldn't get to the fort itself or any of the spots in it. And since they've turned it into a park, they've done a tremendous job straightening the place out and restoring it back to a respectable glory. That's what I'll call it, a respectable glory.
I like that.
It is a really nice place. Even to go and to check out the place during the daytime, just go for a stroll with your family. It's a nice place. However, after dark, quite spooky.
Hence why we're there.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Again, I've never been there, so it should
I've never
be.
been inside. I've only been outside, so inside should prove to be pretty interesting.
I've only read about it.
I was actually just speaking with Mike Markowitz, who will be there doing lectures on Friday night, about what it was like for them when they went in. And he said once those doors shut, you couldn't hear a thing. Because I was asking him, because he's obviously, he's the EVP specialist. So I was asking him, as far as being at Fort Tabor on the water, how does that affect EVP quality? He said you can't hear anything when you walk inside, so that already sounds spooky, never mind actually going in.
I know.
Well, you got to remember those walls are made of granite that are about almost 2.5 feet
Yep.
thick. Okay? So that is very good sound deadening material. So it eliminating any of the surrounding outside sounds, yeah, he's right.
Yep.
Higher you go up in it, the more you'll
Right.
catch. But in the courtyard itself, it'll be fairly quiet, yeah.
And I do know tickets are still available, guys. So that's just one of the events that I want to talk about tonight. Again, it's this Friday night, October 12th, from 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. Fort Tabor, New Bedford. Go to SpookySouthCoast.com to
October 10th, Friday.
12th. 10th
The
is tomorrow.
Oh, 12th, yeah. I'll be okay, folks.
We're doing
We're
really
rubbing
well
off on you.
tonight. Really well.
See what happens when you sit in between us.
I took my shirt off so I'd match you guys.
I noticed.
I thought we could look like a team.
It's all that extra estrogen. It's getting to my head.
You did say you wanted to discuss makeup and shoes, so.
We'll braid each other's hair in a minute. I would like that.
That looks good.
Anyways, again, Fort Tabor in New Bedford this Friday night, October 12th, 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. I know tickets are still available, and you can purchase a mini reading with Steph and myself, which we would love. So go to SpookySouthCoast.com to purchase your tickets. It'll give you a link, I think, to Legend Trips.
Should, yeah. And I know both of these girls personally, and I can tell you, they're worth every penny that you spend getting a reading. Seriously.
Thank you.
You're
We'll
welcome.
pay you later.
I work for food.
Well, good, I guess I'm in the car.
Leftovers. No, thank you, Matt. Thank you. Because
No, it's the truth.
Steph and I have been with Matt doing walkthroughs and going
I
to
almost
different
choked my gum, sorry guys.
different locations. And he actually has experimented with us in a sense. He's actually recover. He's actually
I've done work with these women on numerous occasions and have obtained positive scientific results while working with them, as they are such true professionals.
Yeah, we look like it right now.
Yeah.
Thanks, Steph.
But it was great. It was a great experiment as far as, you know, basically what he did was he separated Steph and I, and
One of them, meaning Matt or Andy, went with us on one floor. Tiff was actually either on multiple occasions, either one floor or 2 floors below me. And we both read the historical places that we went to and compared notes at the end. And
that was the best part, was being able to compare notes, because then
that's my favorite
these
part.
guys knew what was going on at that location, and they just want to see if we could pick up on certain
Right.
things. And
Andy and I already knew the history of the place. We
Right.
already knew what kind of activity took place. We already knew all of the players involved and stuff like that. And I thought it would be an interesting test to see if I could take 2 mediums, put them on separate floors, and have them read on each floor, and then at the end, put the data together and see how well they cooperated each other. And I have to say, you two definitely work extremely well together. You guys validate each other, that I've seen on 3 separate places. Now, as a scientist, I can say when you can do things in triplicate and you're getting the same results, that's something to pay attention to.
3s are always better.
I know it's your favorite number.
It is my favorite number.
It is.
But it's true, and not only that, but you have seen us as far as we just did readings actually on Spooky South Coast last Saturday night.
Yep.
And you were able to see that as well. So
And you guys got an invitation to another place that I would love to test you at.
Oh, that's right.
And I can tell you right now, you touched that homeowner and made a very good impression on him. And I would like to see what you guys get there, and I thank you for what you did for him, because you helped alleviate. I could tell that, because I know Edwin and I know how he is with his family and how close he is, and you guys made him feel much better.
It's good to know.
Thank you.
That is good.
And
to know.
that's what
And
we
we're here
do.
for.
We try to provide comfort to family and friends and people looking to connect to their loved ones in spirit. That's what we do.
Right.
So whether we do it on a paranormal aspect, whether we do it for the private readings, we're here to provide comfort and hopefully provide some validation or some answers or any type of help, I guess. So yes.
Sometimes it's also fun just jumping into the investigation, just as a regular old person too, which I can't wait to do on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Just to see. I mean, yeah, we'll be there as mediums too, but it'll be fun to watch other people investigate and see what happens. And
Well, when I took part of the Slater Mill investigation, well, not investigation, but it was the Legend Trips with Slater Mill. The last time I was there was in 5th grade, so I felt like I was a kid in a candy store because it was so long ago and it brought back so many memories. And of course, I didn't get to go into certain areas in 5th grade, so so it was good. It was pretty cool. I was an adult living a dream, but
Perks, huh?
perks of it. And then the week after, guys, if you can't make this Friday night, a week after, this is our 2nd annual Haunted History Night.
Correct.
Part of Legend Trips as well. So all you Wareham viewers out there, we're going to be in Wareham. It's a perfect time for you guys. We're going to be right here, right where the studio is, on Main Street, right off of Main Street.
Yeah.
It's a perfect opportunity for you to actually learn a piece of your town's history. I don't see why you wouldn't want to. I've done it before. I'm doing it again. These guys are going to be with me. It's well worth it. It's going to include, again, dinner, lectures, readings, which you can purchase additionally. So it's going to be a learning experience.
And they get to investigate
No, go for it.
they also get to investigate a number of different locations right here in the downtown square area. You get to investigate the one-room schoolhouse. You also, that's there, that came up from Great Neck. Then you also get the Methodist Church, the Meeting House, and of course the Pairing Tavern, which definitely does have activity in it. And we found that from last year, the schoolhouse actually had some pretty interesting things going on. Nobody's ever really been in there to investigate before, but we were actually having people picking up voices and hearing things moving around in the building while we're there. And there was activity that was happening in the ferrying house, so we're not guaranteeing it, but chances are you may have an opportunity to see something paranormal happen. And what I find one of the best parts is basically all of the proceeds, except for the cost of putting the thing together, the money goes to the Historical Society to keep these places open for you.
Of Wareham.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like it's a win-win. I know that last year I probably got lost in between the places because I didn't make it to the schoolhouse.
That's all right.
So I probably stayed double.
I still love you.
But this year I want to go to the schoolhouse because I heard that the energy was amazing in there. So I would love to go and check out the schoolhouse. But
I can't wait to check them all out because I've only been to the Fearing Tavern once, so I haven't been to the other places. But I did get pinched in the Fearing Tavern.
And you know what? I'm going to share a little secret. They always have snacks, late night snacks, which is my favorite.
Can you say Swedish fish?
I'm telling you, it's the best thing. Like of course, we're going to have pizza and enjoy watching these guys do their lecture and learn about Wareham's history, and then start the investigation. And then when you get a little bit hungry, like, that pizza was good. I wonder if there's any left. We meet up again, and there's usually a smorgasbord of delicious goodness, whether it's cookies, chips. Obviously, wear your elastic waistband pants like I usually do, but
Tim's
cookies,
wife
chips.
usually makes some, the brownie
Oh, the
things?
blonde brownies.
Yeah.
Tim Weisberg's wife.
Those are good.
Dangerous.
So
They're
good.
mine. You hear me? They're mine.
They're so good. They're so dreamy.
Until Tiff and I get there first.
I have a strategy.
I'm sure you do.
I loiter.
You're a raccoon.
Yeah, I loiter and wait. Coast is clear. Go in, grab some, put them in a pocket, and then
We usually have Swedish fish
Yeah,
coming
a
out of our
pocket.
pockets. Yeah.
chipmunk.
Tiff, what's wrong with your cheeks?
Saving it for later. We're in a silly mood. How's the chat room looking? Sorry, going into puberty during the show, like Peter Brady.
Why not? We're already junior high.
I know, right? Did you think you can have this much fun tonight?
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't expecting that.
We always
but
forget.
When
like,
have I ever had a boring time with you two?
I know.
It really doesn't happen.
Well, we do a lot.
Things just happen to us. We don't understand.
No.
There's no science behind it. It just happens. Oh, the chat room's going good. I know. There's science now. But there's no science behind how we work.
And obviously, guys, too, if you have any questions, even if you want to add
Chaos
into the
does have a
conversation,
pattern.
definitely get in the chat room. Ask your questions. We're here to respond to you.
Yes, Q&A.
And freeze frame.
And pause. So,
And now
Oh,
back
okay,
to our
thank you,
regularly
guys.
scheduled program.
I have a question for you guys. How do you guys like the new start time at 7 p.m.? Thanks.
You were asking us. Oh, I thought you were.
No, I was.
Okay.
And then I was responding.
Do you like it?
I like it. I really do. I like it because
You get home earlier?
you get home earlier, and it's a long work day, and it's good to, I drive an hour here to the studio, and then I drive an hour home. So,
that's your own fault.
yep. So I like it. I like it earlier. I can remember when we were doing this out of my house at 9. Of course, it was my house, so it didn't matter. I was like, stay after, stay, eat.
It mattered to me.
Yeah, but now it's all
I've
copacetic.
never been to your house.
It's okay. It's okay. It's not Studio 807 anymore.
I know.
Yeah, it's changed.
But now I live in a farmhouse,
right.
which I would love to have you over to see if you can pick up on anything.
Who, me?
Well, just anybody.
Pick up on anything? I'm not into animals.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
You would be with
No
Lily.
means no.
Oh. Well, you know what? I have
You
another.
leave these things open.
I know, I do. I
Yeah,
do. Always
really.
these open-ended. Ching-chang.
I can't
Let's
tell you
not
what
go
goes
down
on.
that road.
Yeah, I was just going to say, before I snort again. Let's just try to avoid it. Be proactive.
Well, another thing, which I had mentioned, I believe it was last week I mentioned, Robin Curtin's going to be coming on monthly as a special guest to talk about, you were on when she was on. She was the spiritual astrologer. Excuse me, I'm very excited about that. I'm actually getting together with her to do a fundraiser for the Weymouth Girls dance team. Jazz hands.
Spear fingers.
Spear fingers. That's going to be November
Gang signs.
11th. That's going to be November 11th. It's going to be called Stars and Spirits. You make the call what it's about.
It's about stars and spirits.
Stars and Spirits.
Not sure if you know.
And face paint. That's what it made me think of.
And parade!
So that's going to happen November 11th. I will have more details. You guys can definitely check out my website at tiffanyrice.com or sign up for my newsletter. That's something new. I have a newsletter now. It started in October. I will be keeping you guys updated with current events that's going on as far as what's happening at my office or what's happening here or so forth. So you definitely want to check that out. You can go to my Facebook page, Spirit Medium Tiffany, and click on join my newsletter. And that way you can get all the good stuff as far as events and information. And again, for the record, yes, Stephanie and I are doing private readings. So if you would like a private reading with any one of us, you can contact Stephanie at windwalkerhealing.com and tiffanyrice.com, and we can set something up.
Private readings, Reiki, table tipping, meditation,
Anything.
anything. Tons of different things.
Face painting.
I don't do that.
I'm just kidding.
That's all right.
I did do when I worked at Jordan's Furniture. I did face painting
Really?
for a little while. Yeah, my job was to make sure everybody left with a smile. And they
Whether
did.
it was painted on or not.
So that explains the Joker.
What? I would.
Reference.
I got it. I got it.
I was slow, but I enjoy
It's okay.
superheroes.
Okay, for your
Good
speech.
to know. Okay, so we have a chat room question.
Ooh.
We're gonna cut off Tip Talk.
Yeah, please save us.
Technically, it's Tiff Ramble, but
Yeah. Do we believe, anybody can answer, I suppose, does it get much more active toward Halloween?
Yes.
I believe so.
Well, if you joined my newsletter, I had touched base on this.
We're back to
That's
Tip Talk,
why.
folks.
No, but I'm just saying it's because, especially October 31st is the thinnest veil between here and spirit world, so to speak. Usually, we always say the veil's thinner between 3 and 4 in the morning, but the whole day of October 31st is the thinnest veil because of the new harvest and so forth. Go ahead, Matt.
I was going to say, I think most people tend to notice it more because it's that time of season, so they're paying attention to it a little more closely. Looking into this stuff for a number of years, I've noticed that the activity stays relatively constant. You get more reports in the October areas. That's only because people are paying attention to
Right.
that. Let me look and let me see. And of course, if you're going to go looking for a bird out in the tree, you're going to eventually see it rather than just it flying in front of you through the course of your day, paying attention. So it's one of those things. It's observed because you're looking for it.
Right. Which makes sense too.
Well, that's the way I see it.
That's the only question. I
Hey,
had.
you guys brought me on.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But I mean, I do like to get dressed up for Halloween too. And
I've been
enjoying
dressed
the
I like to get
festivities.
undressed for it.
Alrighty then. Taking a whole new level. Well, you're in luck, Matt, because we have a special October 30th. We're dressing up or dressing down for Halloween here on Spirit Connections. I was going to say Spooky South Coast.
Same thing.
Same thing.
You look a lot better than Weisberg and Costa, trust me.
We missed Matt. We missed Matt last week.
He hasn't been in for a while because of his new job that he's got. He just has not been able to get Saturday nights off.
Right.
And I guess when you're the new guy in the crew,
Yeah.
you're the one that gets stuck with what other people don't want.
Right.
He's happy to have a job, so I can't fault him.
Right.
Right.
Right. But, I mean, it's always a good crowd whenever time we go. And, I mean, we ended up talking to Tim after the show for a while, too.
Yeah, I
Which is
noticed.
always good.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was falling asleep.
But
Not
that's,
because Tim's boring,
No,
just because it's late into
Extremely
the
tired.
evening.
but that's what happens when you get involved with like-minded people and we just chitter-chatter the whole night. And, of course, the majority of us are night owls anyways, so it can
me?
be 3 in the morning and we're like, oh, pass the cheese curls.
Who, you?
Yeah. Surprisingly. You look so shady over there.
I was taking chat room questions via text
okay.
message.
Oh, what's the question?
I'm not telling.
Okay.
And
Ooh.
all I heard was cheese curls, and all that reminded me of was
I
the
know.
investigation that we did on Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
I sat in a chair and there was a bag of open cheese curls next to me, and it was the worst smelling cheese curls ever.
Ooh.
And I had it like stuck in my
Foot
nose.
cheese curls.
Ew.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so
That's enough.
yeah.
Hey, you guys brought me on here.
That's enough.
That's enough. Nothing else though, just that. All right, well, I'm gonna ask my own questions.
Okay.
If either of you could investigate anywhere in the world, where would you go?
I'd like to go to Scotland because I've never been, and I have a family history is in Scotland.
This might take Matt a while.
Yeah, it's like narrowing it down to subject matter, which, you know.
Well, okay, let me break it down for you.
Okay.
Okay. If you could go and investigate UFO.
Okay.
Okay, UFO, paranormal,
Haunted event, yep.
haunted, or cryptozoology, anything cryptomundo. Okay.
Trademark Lauren Coleman.
Yes, yes. What would you choose out of those 3 categories?
I can choose something in each category.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Okay.
I was going to say, you can't ask him to choose between all 3.
That's why I was like,
That's just wrong.
'cause I'm so-
Okay.
He's going to just self-implode pretty soon.
Okay, so Bigfoot. Where would you go to try to locate Bigfoot?
Where would I like to go to try and, I think the best location where I would have the most luck would be in the old Mount St. Helens range, up in Washington. That would be where I would go looking for Bigfoot, because that's where the most recent and well-documented sightings happening in that area. As far as having the best opportunity, yes, that's where I would be going for Bigfoot. Now, UFOs. I've already been to Roswell and all of the other major case places. But probably one of the places I would like to really investigate would be in Mexico City, because they've been having a ton of stuff that's been happening for a number of years, for the past couple of decades. And as far as hauntings, yeah, I'd be taking a trip with you to Scotland, because that was the one place where I didn't really get to investigate as much when I went over there. I got to investigate a number of different places in England and Wales and stuff, but I didn't really, in 1 or 2 places in Ireland, but I didn't really get much time in Scotland. I would like to check that place out. Go check out this.
And Steph?
And me? Well, we all know how I feel about aliens, so we're going to put that on the back burner.
Oh.
I don't know how I feel about Bigfoot. That's still a question.
It's a fuzzy subject.
Yeah, no pun intended.
Oh, really mammal.
I don't know what I would do if I
Mammoth.
came face to face with either of those. And
What if you came face to face with both?
I don't know. I'd probably
She
pass
didn't
out. I'm trying not to do the snorting thing again, so we're trying to hold composure.
Good luck.
Because I have people commenting about it in the chat room. Like, snore. As far as a haunted location, anywhere and everywhere, but probably, definitely Ireland, because I have family there, and hearing about the story since I was a little girl just kind of builds a curiosity. And I think I might have to add Normandy onto my list after my husband just came back from there recently. And the events that...
Thank you for bringing work home.
Yes, absolutely. That is definitely a true statement. He brought a few friends home with him from there, so after meeting them...
I would call them a few heroes.
Yes, absolutely. I agree. So I would definitely like to go and check it out and see what it's actually like for myself. Because asking the questions of what did it feel like, what did you how was the energy, just doesn't really translate well unless you're actually there yourself.
Right.
So.
No, I agree. So that means road trip again.
Yeah.
If only we followed through with how many times we've said road trip. And
Actually, the amount of times that we've said road trip, we've been like 5 minutes from home. Normandy might take a little while and
Yeah.
some money. So.
in Scotland.
Yeah, just a little bit. Not bad, but you never know. You never know where life's going to take any of us.
No. Who knows?
You don't.
Let's
But once we're
think
over
about
there,
that. I was going to say, let's think about that for a moment.
If we just go to one of them, we'll have to go to all of them since we'll already be there. We'll plan it one day.
One day soon.
Yeah. as you look at the time.
Yeah, soon.
Soon.
If you guys are just joining us, we have Matt Moniz from Spooky South Coast and 30 odd minutes. He's on helping Steph and I today here in the chat room.
Helping, yeah, that's the word.
Helping answer all the questions that you guys may have for us. So definitely get into that chat room at spookysouthcoast.com/spookytv so you can ask us any questions. Again, whether it has to do with angels, paranormal, UFOs. Where's my UFO crew? Bigfoot, Loch Ness, Nessie.
What's your favorite color?
What's your favorite color? Hello, what's your
Plaid.
favorite color? Oh.
I like it.
I used to dress up in kilts all the time when I was little.
Well, that's interesting.
That's all my...
Technically, for a girl, it's still a dress.
Well, I would get my pictures taken at Olin Mills in them.
We all got pictures taken at Olin Mills. Just some of us not wearing kilts.
Really?
I'm dying. I shouldn't say I'm dying to find the picture. I really want to find that picture. We can set it up. It's just me, about 3 or 4 years old, in a kilt with my knee-high socks and red shoes like this.
That's cute, Tiff.
Yeah.
And the kibber over her shoulder. A plate of haggis.
We could talk about bad tattoos. Anybody have any bad tattoos?
No.
I got a couple of badass tattoos.
Oh.
But no bad tattoos.
I have a backwards tattoo.
You do have a backwards tattoo.
I do have a backwards tattoo, and that's why I brought it up, because it was after
Backwards
my dad passed away. My dad passed away. I got a Scottish Lounbrow, and it is backwards.
How did you manage that?
Well, because it was behind me, and I didn't see it.
No,
I
but
saw it in the mirror.
did you bring up the picture backwards?
I don't know. I don't want to talk about it because now all of a sudden I forget.
Oh, okay. So next question.
Where is this tattoo?
Behind her.
I'll take your word.
You can always get a right side one on the other side of it.
I thought about it like looking in the mirror or something, and then I thought it would be really cheesy and chestery.
Your coat of arms in the middle, mirrored on the other side,
Yes.
like it's holding your coat of arms. You're welcome.
If you could draw
Yeah.
that up for me. Just a quick doodle.
Just
As
don't.
long as I get to put the ink in.
No, yeah, right. All of a sudden I'm stuck like this. Oh, you hit my back. I don't know what
That
happened.
just looks like a big M. What's that?
M
No.
with a Bigfoot and a flying saucer. Sorry.
Would I do that?
No. Oh my goodness. Okay, so where is the scariest place that either of you have been?
Well, I went to Eastern State Penitentiary in August, and it wasn't that scary to me, only because it was like a tour. So I wasn't that scared. So I guess the eeriest feeling that I had to have been Waverly Hills Sanitarium in Kentucky. That's, for me, I'm even going back to like any of the investigations that I've done as far as a residential house or restaurants or anything like that. But I think that tops it off. I think it was just because it was so humongous, it was huge, that it just kind of, it almost takes over you if you allow it to. So I think the size of it really got to me.
Very overwhelming. It's a very large place.
Especially in the dark, I'm sure.
Yeah, I didn't have the same feeling as I did at Eastern State. I don't know. What about you guys?
I don't know. It'd be hard to decide. I have a tendency, if I have a bad experience, to block it out and forget about it. So I'm sitting here trying to think, because I know you're going to reciprocate the question toward me, and I really can't remember. I can definitely tell you that the worst feelings I've gotten have always been at like battlegrounds, things like that. Maybe because of the trauma that's happened. I still can't go to Fort Phoenix in Fairhaven without feeling like sick to my stomach. I haven't pinpointed why yet because I just tend to forget that it's happening at the time. I definitely get a weird feeling at Fort Tabor. That's why it'll be interesting to go back because I haven't really been back in the nighttime. Last time I went was for a wedding. And needless to say, I ran in and ran out as fast as I could. I'd really have to think about that to see what the top one was.
What about you, Matt?
My niece's daycare. But, completely different reasons. Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you with Waverly. It's one of the spookiest places I've been to. Now, everybody would have thought I would have said Lizzie's. The place is like my home, and I'm used to all of the activity happening and stuff like that. But I think the overwhelming size that Waverly is, people don't understand how big the place really is. You see it on television and you may look at pictures and books, but unless you're actually there to get the scope and magnitude of the place, it's huge. It's 186,000 square feet.
Wow.
It's huge, absolutely immense. And what made it all the more scary for me is it was just me, my buddy Joe, Tina Mattingly, the owner, and 2 of her volunteers the very first time I went in there.
Wow.
5 people inside that entire place. Okay? We could all be on one floor and you wouldn't see each other for,
Right.
half an hour if you're going in from room to room. And there's 5 floors. And the place is absolutely immense. And we're kicking around that place and the things that you would see and hear and literally feel. It's an eye-opening experience. And I've been back there several times as, basically a tour guide or,
Right.
when certain events would be held there, I would give people, a tour through and help them investigate and stuff, basically hand-holding. And even with 100 people in the place, you still lose everybody. I mean, it is that big that you can hide 100 people in this entire building with ease, absolute ease. And even with all of those people, activity still happening on every floor. And it's one of these places that it's not like, I think I saw something. It's, I saw something.
Yeah.
If you are a skeptic and you don't walk out of there a believer of something going on, I don't know what else to tell you, buddy, because you've got your head stuffed somewhere where the sun ain't shining.
It is. And again, the immense size of Waverly Hills Sanitarium, it's wherever you go, you have that same feeling. And they have the rooms, the fresh air rooms that you can walk down, but it's still, the corridor is still, it doesn't matter. It's like that energy will follow you there, and you can consistently feel it. 4th floor is supposed to be the most active floor there.
4th and 3rd. The
Yep.
5th floor is nuts. I had, the first day I was there, the very first time, I arrived with my buddy and rented the place out, just him and I, for the entire place out, just for us. And we went on the last evening tour. You know how they have regular tours that they do before we basically got locked in the place. And we went on the walking tour with them just to get the layout. And on the 5th floor, we were in there no less than 5-10 minutes. I'm watching something walk beside me and into another room. I'm going chasing that. My buddy Joe, who is, as you know, a very tall individual looking over the tops of everybody's heads, into another room behind, sees a little girl standing behind a wall. After I got done chasing what I was chasing in one room, he's like, I saw a little girl behind, the tour guide back there in that room, so hiding behind a wall in the window. So I go behind there, and not only is there no little girl there, there's no wall there, there's no windows there. So he's seeing an image from something in the past. It was like, come here. He walked in, he looked, and it's just open air out to it's like, you can see where they had
Right.
the wall
Right.
and the types of windows, but it wasn't there anymore. And what was on the other side of where that wall was? The swings for the kids.
And what you guys may not know at home is that Waverly Hills Sanitarium was also a place for families that had tuberculosis. So it wasn't just older people or people that might have been mentally disturbed, or I know that there was a section for people that were mentally disturbed, but it was a tuberculosis hospital, so it was people of all ages, from young and old. So the chances of Joe seeing a little girl is high.
Especially where they were at. That's where they kept the kids.
Right.
Was there in that 5th floor.
The 5th floor, right next to the mentally disturbed.
Yeah.
Go figure, but but that's how it was back then. If you ever get an opportunity to go check out your history first, and it's Waverly Hills Sanitarium in Louisville, Kentucky.
Yep.
But it's an amazing place. It really is.
I wholeheartedly agree.
I'll have to go someday.
Yes. I mean, where Eastern State is, it's right in the middle of like downtown Philly, so it didn't give off that. Again, I've never been there alone in the dark. It was broad daylight and there were people there, but it is in like the downtown Philly area.
yeah.
So
Right around the corner from Gino's.
right.
Am I wrong?
and so there's at Waverly Hills there's a huge hill, right? If
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken, you have to drive up a huge hill, so maybe that adds to it. But at the same time, I think the best part of finding out any haunted location is try to do your research first. Maybe not us being the mediums trying to
can't
pick
do
things up,
research.
but if you are going to check things out, do your history, because whether or not there could have been something negative that could have happened, there's still something more out there as far as just the negative. There's that common everyday life that could have happened, which also could promote themselves as being, I don't want to use the terms coming back, but it could pick up the energy just from normal activities. It doesn't have to be because of a certain negative incident that took place.
Okay. Talking about things out there. Let's go into that forbidden area. What about UFOs? What about aliens? Your thoughts on them? Can you tell me what you think?
I've personally have never experienced seeing a UFO.
Okay.
I want to believe that there is a Bigfoot. I've never experienced.
I know. How did that happen? Why on UFOs?
Okay, I will stick with UFOs.
Last
Even
person
though-
I talked to that started off answering questions like that was Dr. Timothy Leary. I just went.
I know.
You kids
I
are
like how
too
you
young.
had that reassuring stare. Like, please tell me what you're talking about.
Dr. Timothy Leary, back in the 60s, he was the proponent of the phrase turn on, tune in, and drop out. He was known as the LSD doctor from Harvard
for me.
psychiatrist that, back in the day, I got a chance to interview him and G. Gordon Liddy. You have no idea who G. Gordon Liddy is either, do you?
Let me know. Fill me in.
G. Gordon Liddy during the Watergate era was the person responsible for breaking into the Democratic office housed in Watergate.
Oh.
And he was jailed for placing bugs in there, not the creepy crawly kind of the listening devices, in the office, and he was jailed for it. He went to jail and never really relinquished any information of why he did it or who put him up to it, although most of the people know. And G. Gordon Liddy and Timothy Leary used to do a lecture tour called The Mind of the State versus the State of the Mind. And I got a chance to meet and talk to both of them. I determined that Timothy Leary was a crispy critter.
Hey.
and G. Gordon Liddy was G. Gordon Liddy. Leave it at that.
Okay. Well, I mean,
I'm showing my age.
as far as UFOs go, I've never experienced it. From what I've heard and what I've learned from you and from doing the little.
Oh, there's a credible source right there.
No, but I'll say I haven't done that much research as far as doing the UFOs.
See, I'm surprised you haven't come across them in your
Neck of the woods?
Yeah,
So to speak?
so to speak, because it's quite a prolific subject, and I would figure that it would manifest itself in readings in some form or another. People have had contact throughout their lives. I know dozens and dozens of abductees, and I'm just curious as to why you have or have not picked up on that particular vibe. That's
I
why
don't know. I don't
You?
have
Well,
you-
we'll get to you.
She's blocked. She blocks herself.
Well, you're
Well-
willing to talk about it, so
No,
you
I am
speak.
willing. I am willing to speak about it, but I've never come across anyone else, to my knowledge, as far as being an abductee or experiencing even people that I've had on the show.
Okay.
No one has ever.
I don't
I
think
can
it's
hook you
open.
up with some abductees if you want to have them on
Oh,
via
I'd love
Skype.
it. Oh,
Well-
I have to set up the Skype.
And, you know, I can try and find some local ones that are willing to come on, but it's a subject matter that most people that, if they are experiencing it, don't tend to want to be out in the public with, because it's a very rough subject. That's why I'm saying I'm surprised you hadn't picked up on it in the past, knowing that there are a good number of them out there.
And it
That's-
wasn't until, to be honest with you, it wasn't until recently that I didn't realize actually how many people are out there that have experienced that. You've enlightened me to a lot.
I'm glad I was able to do so. But I'm just trying to, like I said, I'm fascinated by this, all of the subject matter. And I'm wondering why you have, you know, I could ask the same question, why you haven't picked up people that have also had Bigfoot or cryptid sightings. You know, is it because you're just so narrowly focused on this thing that's coming through from the spirit side?
It's-
Or is it,
Sorry.
you know, something else?
Usually what I do is when I focus, when I give a reading, I communicate with, say if it's a private reading, it's
Yeah.
usually a personal loved one, friend, even if it was an animal that comes through, it's usually that type of reading. Whereas, say if I was going to a certain location, I think that would be more as far as if I was going to a certain location, I could probably pick up on, all right, is there a lot of, because I've driven with Andrew Lake, and I was attracted to one area. I'm like, what's going on over here? I feel like I'm being pulled over here. And he goes, well, a huge meteor dropped, you know, several hundred years ago, so to speak. It dropped, and, you know, now there's that energetic connection going there. So in an environment, I'm able to pick up on that kind of stuff.
Well, thank you for that answer. You.
What about me?
Are you going to answer the question?
Repeat the question.
I didn't realize. Excuse me, Your Honor. May I prosecute as a hostile witness? Why do you feel, as a psychic and medium, or psychic medium, to hyphenate it, that more off-world intelligences or alien type of things are not brought up by other psychics during readings or psychic experiences?
The best thing that best answer I can come up with,
Because you guys got ghost galore all over the place, but
right. I know that I've picked up on,
You get elementals.
yeah, like I pick up on different things than Tiffany does. I can see things differently than Tiffany does. Every medium is different.
Okay. And as you know, I know several dozen other
Right.
mediums and psychics, and I've asked them all the same question, and they're all like, I got no idea.
I think maybe because, well, for myself at least speaking, being a psychic medium, I've picked up, like you've seen how
I
I
know how
work
you
in
work.
both
Yeah.
aspects, and it's not always ghosts or it's not always loved ones. Where, like, if we're sitting and giving someone a private reading, we're trying to connect quickly because it's timed with whatever loved one's coming through at that time. We have to stick with it, see what they need to say, go through it. If we have the extra time, it starts going into a little bit more psychic or a little bit more, this person also wants to say this and that. But say, like, just hanging out with you, you know,
Hey,
the day of
guilt by
shooting.
association.
So we're hanging out with a bunch of you guys and we're just sitting there. If we start shouting out different things, like, I mean, I know I have in the past.
What, like, give me another beer?
Yeah, no, I don't drink beer, it's wine, remember?
Kielbasa.
Kielbasa, yeah.
Still got some at home. We
Oh,
just made some on
delish.
Sunday.
Different things like that, we can start going into more like a psychic thing. But as far as maybe why people haven't is because they're so focused on getting that answer as fast as possible because we are being timed. When we go to different places like historic places or sites, we're kind of open to, we can do whatever we want at this point. There's no right or wrong, there's no time frame, there's nothing. So also, I know I'm definitely not aware or not familiar with the energy or the vibe that they work on. Or, I mean, I might know about it.
Have
but
you encountered them in a vibe sense? Do you know what their
don't.
vibe is?
I don't, so it's unknown to me. So I may have encountered it
And
a
just
1,000 times over.
misinterpreted
And
Right.
we could have. Or
See, this is what I was looking for.
this is why, fear of the unknown. It makes me freak out because I don't know. There is no definite answer. I
Welcome
know
to
you.
my
Yeah,
world.
I know. I know. So I very well could have been speaking with one face to face before. I don't know. And
It hasn't been
It hasn't
acknowledged
slapped
to
me
us.
upside
Like
the head.
we didn't even really, or maybe you did when you were younger, but when I was being very intuitive, being younger and having that sense of knowing, I didn't realize what I was doing until someone was like, this is what that is. And then I said, oh, okay, now
Yeah.
I know what
See,
what
I
everything
knew.
means.
But I never, like, don't get me wrong, I know plenty of people that have had UFO sightings, UFO encounters, alien encounters, for lack of better words. I know people that do contact them frequently, and I have no idea, and I always ask the same questions. Tell me what it's like. I know specifically one friend, I asked one night, tell me what this is like. I need to know, and
Right.
she actually...
Inquiring minds. wanna know.
Yeah, because it's a curiosity. You don't know. And as she's telling me, I got the goosebumps everywhere. And I was like, okay, this is getting to, like, you can feel the energy changing. And I'm almost going, oh no, do they know I'm talking about them? And then I had to stop because I don't know. It's the fear of the unknown, the same way as people get scared when we say we can speak with people that have passed on, or we see ghosts, or we believe in ghosts. People get afraid of that. I happen to get afraid of aliens. I don't know why.
Okay.
Because there's a lack of knowledge.
That's what I was going to say. It's probably because it's unfamiliar.
Absolutely.
It's been kept from you, and you've also self-excluded it for
Right.
your own reasons. Now, would it interest you to know that not all aliens are the little gray guys with the big black eyes?
I'm very interested. I'm just very scared.
Actually, the very first reports of most aliens have them described looking almost exactly like us,
That's
with
what I've
certain
heard.
physical characteristic differences in the eyes and certain parts of the hands and stuff like that. And they would impart their own thoughts to us in the early days, and they're still seen to this day. We have, at last count, over 70 different species that have visited this planet. 30 of them on a regular basis.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
At least that's
Yeah.
what the current
Yeah.
consensus is, based on what they're getting from reports.
See, I'd be interested. I am interested.
There's
But
an
I mean,
interest, but
you brought up a good point. It just could be, we very well could be communicating, but not tying it into
Well, I
what
think
exactly it is.
The same thing is when they tell us there's a spirit realm and there's the angelic realm. The two are different. You can tell the difference between earthbound spirit that's crossed over, definite divine energy, like angels. I'm sure it's a completely different one for aliens, and I have no idea. I am not familiar to it. Nobody's ever sat me down and said, this is what it feels like when you're communicating with an alien.
Right.
I know they communicate telepathically. That I do know, just from asking a lot of questions. I ask a lot of questions. That's just how I am. But if you don't ask, you don't know.
That's what we do. That's what we do.
So, then you see movies that people wear tinfoil hats and splash water
With
on
Joaquin
them.
Phoenix, who was my favorite for a long time. Now
So I just think to myself, maybe I should keep a tinfoil hat handy. I don't know. Glasses of water everywhere. They freak me out. If I had a better understanding, what? Shh, don't tell me that. It would make me feel better if I knew.
They're afraid of beer. Keep lots of beer around.
Oh, okay.
Well, we are wrapping up, and I want to thank you, Matt, for being part of Spirit Connections again. And it was a year ago, just about a year ago, that you were on here when
Thank you for letting me out of my cage to be here.
we made our debut here. And I do want to dedicate this show to one Spirit Connection viewer who will not be watching Spirit Connections here. Hopefully he'll be watching somewhere else, wherever he may be. To my Uncle Will, who passed away. And God bless. We love you.
Namaste.
And hopefully you will be watching us next week. All right. Have a good night, guys. We'll see you next week.